and welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleacher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and hopefully one day retiring early. So if those are topics that you are also interested in, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you along on this journey. Today I'm going to be making a special video, well, a special request, requested video. I have a friend who watches my videos who was asking some questions about she was struggling a little bit with getting started on her sinking funds and doing her sinking funds successfully. So she wanted some ideas on how to do that. And I thought I can do that. And in fact, it'd be easier for me to put my answer in a video. So I'm going to show you today how I set up and execute my sinking funds successfully in 3 easy steps. So if you'd like to see how I do that, then please keep watching. Okay, so I thought the best way for me to show you how to do this would be to go through a real life example with you. So I just want you to know that all the products I'm using today are available in my Etsy shop. And what I mean by that is my worksheets and the cash envelopes. Now, you do not have to purchase these items to be successful at this. This is just one way of doing it. And the reason why I created worksheets in the first place is because when I started this journey, I was looking for worksheets and I couldn't find anything to fit my needs exactly the way I wanted it. And I'm a bit of a rebel anyways, so I created my own. So if my worksheets work for you, great. Go to Etsy and buy them and use them. That's awesome. If they don't work for you, that's fine too. Do whatever works for you. You might want to create your own worksheets. You might want to just write everything down in a notebook. Whatever works, that's what you need to do. Okay, so, well, let me show you real quick the worksheets we're going to be using because I said there are 3 steps. So the 3 steps are the sinking funds overview, sinking funds amount to withdraw from the bank, and the cash envelope stuffing. Now I have 2 extra worksheets here, the sinking funds tracker and the cash envelope tracker. And those are just bonuses for people who want to track their envelopes in more detail. Now, when you go to my Etsy shop, each worksheet is $4. If you want to buy the whole packet of 5, it's only $10. So it's a pretty good deal if you get the whole packet. Okay, so let's start. In this theoretical example, the reason why I'm starting with 3 here, I actually, if you watch my videos, you'll see that I have a lot more than 3. But when I first started my journey, I thought, I can't do this. It's going to be too much, too overwhelming. So I'm just going to start with Christmas. Because for me, every year, Christmas was a huge expense. That I never, it comes every year. We all know Christmas comes every year, but I never planned for it, which is now thinking back, I can't believe I never planned for it. But, so what would happen is one of 2 things would happen. Either I would have to put it on a credit card or I would go further. Well, yeah, I would just go further in debt because I put it on a credit card or because I had to use money from another area in my budget to cover it. So, but let's be honest, I always put it on a credit card. Okay, so so that's my first tip. If you're nervous about getting started or don't know if you can be successful, then start with 1 envelope. Maybe it's Christmas, maybe it's something else for you. But in this example, we're going to start with Christmas, birthdays, and car registration. Because for me, these were the big 3 that came up every year that I was not prepared for. Okay, so step 1, you need to design your sinking funds overview. Now this can be filled out at any point in the year. I happen to start in January because I started at the beginning of the year. But to be perfectly honest, as I've gone through the months, I have made changes. I've added categories, I've taken categories away, I've changed goal amounts. So it's a flexible worksheet that you can change at any time. Okay, so let's start by adding the category names. So we have Christmas, birthdays, and car registration. Okay, so let's break down each one. So Christmas, let's say I'm starting in January, the beginning of the year. That means I'm going to have 12 months to save for this goal. I have 6 family members. I want to save $100 for each family member. So that's $600. This is my actual goal, you guys. This is what I actually do. So when do I need that by? I need that by December of 2020. That's this year. So my monthly amount, so that means I'm going to have 12 months to save for it. So I'm going to take $600 and I'm going to divide that by 12. That means I need to save $50 a month. So each month I need to save $50. Now, how much you save per check will depend on how often you get paid. If you only get paid once a month, then you'll put $50 per paycheck into the sinking fund. I get paid twice a month, or between my husband and I, we get paid twice a month. I get paid once, he gets paid once, but it happens spread out. So I'm going to divide this by 2 to get my amount. So each paycheck, I need to put away $25 into my Christmas envelope. Now, some people get paid by week, so their per paycheck amount will be even smaller. Okay, let's talk about birthdays. Now, I have 6 family members. I want to spend $100 per birthday, so that would be $600. But I can't just do a straight 12 months out like this because I have 2 birthdays in February. Remember, we're starting in January. So 2 family members would be $200. We want $200 by February. I do have more family members that I want to save money for, but I'm going to update my sinking funds overview after February to reflect that. So right now, I need to save $200 by February 2020. Well, that's 2 months, so that's $100 a month. And I have 2 paychecks per month, so that means I need to save $50 per paycheck for that envelope. Okay, let's talk about car registration. My car registration is going to be, I'm going to go off my approximate from what I paid last year. So last year I paid around $300. So I'm going to have an estimate here, and whenever I do an estimate, I try to overestimate. It's bad when you don't quite have enough. So I try to overestimate. Now this, I don't have 12 months to save for it because I'm starting in January, and this is actually due in May. So let's see how many months that would be. January, February, March, April, May. So that's going to give me 5 months. So I'm going to take $300 and divide that by 5. So that means I need to save $60 a month, which would be $30 a paycheck. Now after May, it will be a whole year before I have to do my car registration again. So after May, starting in June, that amount will go down. I won't be putting that much. I'll be doing it divided by 12 months instead, so that's actually going to be a smaller amount. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's the first thing you do to get started. You have to figure out how much you're going to save per paycheck. The second step is actually withdrawing your money from the bank. So we're going to start by filling out this top section of this worksheet. This worksheet is called Sinking Funds Amount to Withdraw from the Bank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my information from my sinking fund overview. I'm going to write down the categories and the amount I wanted to take out per paycheck, because that's how much I'm going to take out from the bank each time. So I have Christmas, and I'm going to take out $25. I have birthdays, and I'm going to take out $50. And I have car registration, and I'm going to take out $30. So when I add all of this together, let's see how much that would equal. 25 plus 50 plus 30, that's 105. So the total needed would be $105. It's a total dollar amount needed. Okay, now let's see what that would break down to. I like to keep my denominations as large as possible. So for the 25, I would take 120 and 15. For the 50, I would take 150. for the car registration, I would do a 20 and a 10. Then I come down here and I have the total number needed and the total dollar amount needed. So I need 150, which would be $50. I need two 20s, so that would be $20. I need 10, so that would be $10. And I need 5, so that would be $5. Okay, let's look at the bottom of this worksheet. On the bottom here, I'm going to take the information from these two rows and I'm going to put them in these two columns. So, hundreds, we didn't need any hundreds. 50s, I needed 150, which was $50. 20s, I needed two 20s. Oh, that's 40, not 20. Two 20s is 40. 10s, I needed 10. And 5s, I needed 5. So when I add all this together, it should equal 105. But I like to double check and make sure that I did everything right. So I'm going to add all that up. So I've got 50 plus 40 plus 10 plus 5. Yes, I did it right. Okay, now I can cut this part out to take it to the bank and give it to the bank teller. So let me show you what that will look like. So after you cut it out, this is what it looks like. Okay, it's time for the third and final step of the cash envelope stuffing process and the sinking fund process. This step is called cash envelope stuffing, and if you watch my videos, then you may notice that this has a new title. In my last video, I didn't like the title I had on this worksheet, so I asked for your feedback, and this is what you guys helped me come up with, and I love it. Thank you guys so much for that help. I think it totally makes sense now. Cash envelope stuffing, this category is for sinking funds, this category is for cash envelopes. Now in this video today, I'm not really talking about cash envelopes, I'm just talking about sinking funds. Sinking funds are saved month to month. Cash envelopes are more likely to be spent month to month, like groceries, gas, spending money, that sort of thing. Okay, so I've already written down my 3 categories from my overview and how much I'm going to deposit. Now, in this scenario, we started our budget in January, and I thought to make it more interesting, let's pretend that this is the first paycheck from February. So that way you can get an idea of how quickly it grows. So at this point, we've done 2 cash envelope stuffing sessions. We did one for the first paycheck in January and one for the second paycheck in January. So this is the first paycheck in February. So let's see how much we've been able to save over these last 3 pay periods. So I took my bank slip to the bank and I got all the denominations that I wanted. And now that I'm back, here is what I have. So I'm going to lay them out by denomination. And I'm going to start stuffing. So for Christmas, and this is the way I like to do it. I like to recount the amount in my envelope each time I do a stuffing. You might want to keep track on these extra worksheets that I talked about, the sinking funds tracker and the cash envelope tracker. Then you won't need to recount it every time, but I like to recount it every time. I don't know why, I just do. So I always start by counting my starting balance. So we have 20, 40, 45, 50. So we started with, I'm going to do it in a different color. We started with $50 after January. So the first paycheck in February is going to get 25. So we have 20 and 5. And now let's see how much we have. 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75. So you can see just 1 month and 1 paycheck in, we are already at $75 towards our $600 goal. So let's take a look at birthdays. Let's start by seeing how much we have to start with. 50 is 100, so we have 100 to start with. We're going to add 50. So now we have 50, 100, 150. So we already have $150 saved at this point. 3 pay periods in. Okay, car registration. Start by counting how much we have in our envelope. 20, 40, 50, 55, 60. So we're starting with 60. And we're going to add 30 today. And the way I organize my bills is I put my largest bills on top and then I go down from there. It just makes counting easier. You could also do it least to largest and then flip it over to count, but I like to count with the faces up. I'm weird. I don't know why I like that, but that's the way I like to do it. So 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90. So we already have $90 in our car registration envelope. Okay, so let's look at all the totals or subtotals. So let's start with how much we deposited today. We know that our amount is 105, so I don't even need to use my calculator to add that. It's 105. Let's see how much we had to start with. We had 50 plus 100 plus 60. So we started our this envelope stuffing period with $210. Whoops, that's our total for this category. We added 105, which means we should now have $315 in our sinking funds, if we did everything right. So when we add all this together, if we did everything right, that should equal $315. So let's add that together and see what happens. So that is $315, which is exactly what we thought it would be. So we did everything right. If that number was different, we would need to go back and just recount everything and make sure we didn't make any mistakes. But as you can see, 3 pay periods into the year, you've already saved $315. And I can guarantee you, this is going to help you be more successful in your budget. When you don't have to make up for these unexpected costs or look for extra money to cover it or go further into debt, it's just going to help you. This has been a huge component of our success in this journey. So I would highly recommend that you do this. Now, I cannot take credit for this. I don't know who originally came up with this concept. I watch a ton of YouTubers. I read Dave Ramsey's books. I follow The Budget Mom. I don't know who started it. I can't take credit for it. I'm just sharing with you the way I do it and the way I've set up my worksheets. Best of luck to you. I hope you much success in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please give it a thumbs up and I will see you again next time. Thanks everyone. Bye.